116th Hotline.
It's Sadie.
It's Valerie.
And this is Sutana.
Welcome back to another episode.
Welcome back.
And before we start, we just want to say thank you to Sutana for doing everything for this podcast, from the social media work, the editing, the long nights, the crappy days.
Yes.
Thank you.
You know what? If it's a dream and we're all doing it together and we're making a change, it's worth it, mamas. That's going to be our new thing.
I swear.
In every video. But yeah, no, I actually really love it. I think it really helps me with my creative outlet. It's just like, editing the stuff and, also doing the content creating. Like, I just love that.
Yeah, so. I think Sutana, she genuinely enjoys doing it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's literally your craft.
Yeah,
it's what you do. So
it's a nice creative outlet. So, and I think it really too, just like I said, the other, I don't know when I said it, but where it's like when we come together and we talk, it's just like therapy. So it's really nice to just put it together for the babes out there, for the barbs.
On that note, we're gonna do a mental check-in. Because we haven't done one in
it's been a couple episodes.
I think we haven't done
Okay. It's been a couple episodes.
Okay.
So as always, we will start with Miss Sadie Lee.
Yeah.
So physical and mental.
Yes.
So I'll start. Oh, okay. So I'll start with physical. Lately, I've been doing pretty good. I've been pretty consistent with my meal prepping, my gym work.
Yes.
Workout, whatever.
Gym rat.
But yeah, I think physically, I want to say I'm probably at a 7.5 now. Last time, I think I was like 6 or 7, but I'm 7.5. So slowly but surely, physically.
Okay.
Mentally, I think now I'm actually at like a 9.
That's really, really good.
I love that for you.
Thank you. Work is going good today. We had a really productive day. I had one of the best weekends ever. So that's that. Yeah.
That's all you're gonna get.
And
if you know, you know.
Yeah.
If you want more, then go to follow her
at Sadie Authentic on Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you. What about you, Miss Val?
Valby.
I think for me, physical health, I'm probably at probably an 8 right now.
You're up there.
Still up there. I think I've been finding myself kind of in a toxic headspace with the gym, so I'm trying not to obsess so much about it. So that's where I'm at. Emotionally, right now, I would probably say like a 6.5, only because I forgot to take my medication the past couple of days, and so I felt it getting to me. Like yesterday, I literally slept like almost all day. And then I was.
So you accidentally.
Yeah, I just forget to take it because it's in my
timer setter.
Yeah, it's in my work backpack. So I usually take it while I'm at work, and then so the days that I don't work, I don't don't.
Well, you need to have a reminder like Sadie, where
Yeah, because if I don't take it, I will literally I catch myself falling into a depressive mode, and then I just want to sleep all day, and then I think about there's 1,000 thoughts in my head.
Yes.
So I took my medication this morning, but I still feel about a 6.5.
Okay, but we're recovering.
We're recovering.
Yes, recovering.
Working on it.
Addiction is a recovery.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, anyways, so me.
Last
but not least, me. I know I told you guys a couple days ago I had a really hard time. I think I've just been really overwhelmed with work, my actual day-to-day job, that it's been draining me mentally. It's taking everything that I have. But other than that, so I would say I probably, I don't know, I'm a good 5 right now mentally, to be honest.
We respect the honesty.
Yeah, I mean, some days are easier than others, but I mean, for the most part, I think it's really work that's mentally draining me. So trying to stick to do the things I love, like creating, to keep me focused off of the bad thoughts and going down the deep hole that we also don't want to go down. But physically, girl, I'm feeling like a good 7.
Yes.
Love it.
I've been watching what I eat. And I've been walking when I can and going to the gym when I can, but not really, like Valerie said, making it such a like
toxic relationship. Yeah. Like where you're like obsessing about it.
Right. So
you
just
gotta make it like realistic.
Yeah, just doing what I can with the gym and with healthy eating. So yeah, I'm at a good 7 with that.
That's good. That's good.
I feel like we all have our own things that we do to kind of like bring ourselves back from going down a deep hole. There's like this sound on TikTok that just went around lately where it's Post Malone saying like he was so down deep in a hole, and then somebody asked him like, who brought you back? And then he's like, I did. I brought myself back, because it's like at the end of the day, you really are the only person that can bring yourself back when you have a bad and crappy day. Like, no matter what anyone says, no matter how big or how small your support system is, it really is just a mental battle with yourself, and you have to be the only one to bring yourself back. So I feel like we all have different things that brings ourselves back. I think one thing in common that we do have that brings ourselves back is dark humor. We all 100%.
Oh yeah, like if you can't joke about your own problems that you're going through, it's you probably
wouldn't be good friends with this.
Yeah, no, I mean, like if any trauma, baby, we're using that for humor.
Yeah,
like, that's our coping mechanism.
Yeah, like cope.
So. That's probably why we get along so well.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like we know like how to make it funny, but not to make it to the point where it's like, okay, bro, like that's too far.
Too much.
Yeah,
like crossing the line. You know, the funny thing is that my coworkers, my teachers, like we're the same way. Like we joke about.
Oh really?
It. Yeah, we do. That's why I get along so well with them. But
the dark humor
is just
Like for me, when I know that I'm in a crappy mood, I know I have to go to the gym, or I know I have to be active,
something active,
just so like I can like take my mind off of things. But for sure, definitely being active, because then in that moment, I'm so focused about like either another rep or like how much pain my legs are in from working out so hard, and that like I'm not even thinking about like being sad or depressed. And then I'll feel so good after a workout. Like I literally feel like I shed like a layer of my own skin after working out. Physically, it just feels so good. And then like my mood just changes, and I'm just in a better headspace. So for me, I would definitely say working out, probably reading, which is something I've picked up recently.
So proud of you on that.
Because honestly, the only thing that I actually read is like textbooks, like for school. I never read like for fun. Yeah, so only used to read textbooks like for school, not like reading for fun, just because I don't know. I just never really read for fun. But like recently, I get influenced easily, and TikTok influenced me to read. So I have been reading. So probably gym, reading, and honestly just doing small things like getting my nails done, taking a freaking shower.
Like self-care. Yeah, literally self-care.
Oh my gosh, like I used to like just taking a shower makes me feel so much better. Like refreshed. It's so crazy how like when you're in such a bad depressive episode, or when you're down, like if you just get up and take a shower and like do some skincare, just blow drying your hair, like just small things like that, it can make you feel so much better,
like 10 times better.
Yeah, and like the thing is too, like you don't want to belittle how small of a thing that is, because to some people that's a big thing.
Yes.
So just be proud of yourself that you did it, and be proud of yourself that you even got up out of bed, that you even had the thought to do it. So that's kind of just a few things that I do when I know that I'm gonna get there, or like I'm spiraling.
Like you feel like you're going through it.
Because I feel like everybody knows themselves pretty good, and I feel like I know when I'm like, like she's going crazy. She's going down the hill.
Somebody pick her up.
Somebody roll her back up.
Somebody come get her.
She's going down the wrong way.
But at least you can, like you said, you know when that's happening, and you can pick yourself up real quick and start keeping yourself occupied.
The self-awareness. You have to have self-awareness.
Which is such a hard thing. Like, honestly, I just recently I started to have the self-awareness, which is crazy, because like thinking about it now, like I've been depressed for a big part of my life. Yeah. And I have only now like have held myself accountable for realizing that, and have like given myself the self-awareness. But looking back, it's like, dang, she was going through it and I had no idea. I was just like, well, I just thought that was life. Like, but everybody.
That's okay. Yeah. I mean, now you know.
Now I know. Self-awareness.
Better late than ever, honestly.
Yep.
So how about you, Miss Sasa?
I think the same with Val. Like, so far, like I said, I don't think, and I'm being, 100% transparent here, I personally don't think I've ever been through like depression, you know, like the way
like
how
that, yeah.
in that in the sense of how y'all described yours. But I mean, I know I can't relate, but I can try to understand.
Well, I mean, like even a bad day, like whenever you're feeling down,
right,
like
right. Exactly. So whenever I'm feeling down, mainly I feel like it's from work, honestly.
Yeah.
But then I mean, I try to, you know, not let it get to me so far, because like you said, because I have such a good self-awareness now, you know, that I know how to not let it get to me mentally. But when I mean, it's still there though, it still affects me, you know. So whenever it does, my coping mechanisms are obviously definitely the gym for sure too. I've been a lot more active now, so I go to the gym, and just exactly like Valerie said, you know, you are occupied with the workout.
Yeah,
itself.
like your mind is on something else.
You're occupied on like the rep and like how much more you have to do.
The pain, like you said.
The pain, like
so you're completely focused on that rather than whatever else was happening during the daytime, or you know. So definitely the gym, working out for sure for me. I should be reading more. I'm a reading teacher, for crying out loud. But I don't really have like the urge to read when I'm at home, because I do it so much at school already.
You're just like, oh, it's work. Like I don't want to do it.
But I think in the summertime though, whenever I have free time, then yes, I will do it just for fun and just for, you know, relaxation. But for now, I think definitely just working out and cleaning. I like
she
to
loves cleaning. That's like therapeutic for her, cleaning.
She's Mrs. Clean.
Or like reorganizing her laundry. I think she's like the only person that I know that does that. She goes to her closet and she will reorganize her clothes in her closet, like take everything out and reorganize everything.
I do.
That's because you're
at one point, guys, I know I might sound psycho, but at one point I literally color coded everything.
Stop. I love doing that.
I was like, you do that too. I color coded everything,
but she would like take everything out of her closet and refold it.
City's a different type of cleaning.
And I'll just be like, why are you doing that? Just for it to be like messy again. She would take everything out. And I just be watching her refold everything, and I'm just like,
and literally it'll get messy again within like a few days, and I'm like, oh crap, and then I'm gonna have to do it again later. I don't know. It's just like you said, it's like
it's therapeutic.
It's therapeutic. Yeah. It's therapeutic to me and for me, and just clean my room. And then one thing I think we mentioned in the last few episodes of like the first thing you do in the morning is just to make your bed. I literally been doing that every single day since we had that talk, and it makes me feel accomplished.
Like your first task.
A little bit of that goes a long way, because I felt like you said, after I made my bed and I went to the restroom, I'm like, damn, like I did that, so now everything else is gonna be good for the rest of the day,
like easier.
That's like the theory behind it. Like if you're able to just force yourself to do the first task, which is make your bed, then you're really like you're able to do anything that you put your mind to.
And it's so true. So if you're someone that you don't make your bed in the morning, try it. Just
make
try
your
it out.
bed. Just do it.
It really sets the mindset for the rest of the day. And like like I said, it just set that positivity for the rest of the day for you. So
I love that.
That's definitely me. That's how at least that's how I deal with my bad days.
Or like that's how you see it.
That's how I see it. Yeah. What about you, Sutana?
Thanks for asking first.
You're on the 116th hotline interview.
Yeah, thank you, ring ring. Also, please let me know what you guys think about our new intro and the edits. I've added the ring to the podcast and to the YouTube videos.
Okay. I love it.
Oh, and then also quick plug in here while we're at it. We're also on Apple Podcasts now. We'll add that at the end as well. But just wanted to
we're on all
plug it on there now.
Platforms now.
Most platforms. So for me, I really deal with my bad days. Like you guys know, I had a bad day a couple days ago. I've been having a bad couple weeks. Like I said, because of work. So I think really sticking to my creative outlets, like what I said earlier, and then also just doing the simple things, like sticking to the things that I know I love that bring me happiness, like taking photos, working on my creative projects, spending time with my kids, spending time with my husband, and really just kind of like faking it till you make it. Because I feel like if I continue to put myself in a negative headspace, I'm always going to be in a negative headspace. So I just have to pretend.
I feel like it goes back to the whole mindset thing. You are you have power over your own thoughts and everything, because similarly, like at school, like when I wake up, if something bad happens in the beginning or something that ticks me off in the morning, I have to remind myself, like, it's okay, just let it go, I always literally remind myself, it's okay, just let it go, that's not gonna ruin my day, I'm not gonna let that affect me. I literally have been saying that to myself for the past like few days now, and it's been doing wonders for me.
Yeah, and it's just like, but I feel like at the same time it's like always having like, I think like having the positive mindset all the time, like obviously that's never realistic. Like
it's not.
So I think like having bad days is so
it's normal to have bad days.
It's normal. Yeah. Like it's okay to have a bad day, and it's okay to not have to put up a front that you're having like, oh, my life is all grand and dandy and stuff like that, when in the inside you're not like that. And if you ever do that, I suggest you not to do that, because your mental health is gonna
it's gonna get to you, and it's gonna drain you.
Catch up.
Yes.
I think, like, for me personally, I used to be like that because I was so afraid of showing like signs of weakness, and I was just afraid that like that I held myself up on a place where I'm like, okay, everyone sees me as happy and jolly, so I always have to be happy and jolly, and like the person that has it together, that has got everything together,
like their perspective, your image, I guess.
But like in reality, like no one has it like that. Like nobody has it like that. We're all humans.
Not always.
We all have bad days. We all have bad times, and it's like not everything is like freaking happy, jolly, and good all the time.
Yep.
So I think for me recently, I have just come to terms with myself with that, about like letting myself have moments of weakness, and letting myself be real with the people that do follow me like on social media, to show them that I'm not always happy jolly all the time.
And I think it's okay to acknowledge that. Like I think people need to know that it is okay to acknowledge that.
It's okay to have a bad day, like Meg Thee Stallion said. Bad itches have bad days too, and that's okay. And honestly, what I truly find that truly helps me, you guys, is when I'm having a bad day or a bad week, or like I'm just not feeling the feels. I like to have a good cry. Like I like to just play on some sad music, have a good cry, and just let it out. Because
how else can you let it out?
Right. Because it's like either that or else the rage room. Like I told you guys, we have to go to a rage room.
Have to do that. I was telling Brian about that the other day.
We definitely have to do that. So just something to physically, like Valerie said, even working out, like something to physically
decompress,
get the things out and like decompress. And whether that be crying, whether that be smashing, stuff in a smash room, or writing in your journal, like just find an outlet, because trust me, an outlet will help you 10 times better than keeping it in. Yes. And we talked about that too. Like it's so not good for your mental health to just bottle everything inside. And I don't know, like for me, I think it's just, I was having a really, really bad week, and I try to have the mindset like what Stacey said, like I'm not gonna let this affect me, because at the end of the day, whether it be work or is it echoing?
No.
Whether it be work or whether it be like the things that relationship problems or something, like if you're having a bad day, a bad week, a bad experience, just remember that it's only temporary.
For that moment,
it's only temporary. And like life. We always remind each other, like us three, like when we remind each other, like it'll pass. Like feel the feels, and just let it go, because it's not here to stay. Just let it go. It's a feeling, so you got to feel it.
I think you have to allow yourself to feel whatever it is you're feeling, because the more you try to fight it, then the longer it stays with you. So like instead of trying to fight it, and instead of trying to understand it, just feel it, and then let it go, and let it pass. And if it comes back, let it come back. Like let it come back, and then let it go. It will come back, and let it come back, but then let it go.
But that's a part of life. It's gonna come and go. It's gonna come and go.
Like waves. It'll hit you like waves.
And the thing is, like when you're having a bad day, like I know it feels like the world is ending. Like you just, especially if you have any type of mental health or mental illness, like anxiety, depression, like even like bipolar, like you feel like it's the end of the world.
Like nothing is gonna get you out of there. Like you literally can't imagine the future, because it's like
in that moment it's like I give up. And if you do feel like that, please call a crisis center. Like do not do anything crazy, because
your life is so valuable. It really is. There's really only one you in this whole entire world.
Don't let that darkness moment take over. Don't let that darkness moment win, because you're
and it's just like what they say, you're like you said, you're stronger than that. And it's just like what they say, like there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And I just want to put it out there, like I guess I wanted to talk about this because I've been going through a really hard time, and it's like like to you guys I can just say like I'm having a bad day, but in reality it's like I'm having like a battle inside my own head, like I'm consistently trying to like fight the bad thoughts and be like, okay, this is only temporary, but then at the same time like trying to put on a front, which I feel like is so tiring. So I'm trying to not do that because it gets really fucking exhausting.
Have you considered taking medication?
I have, and I heard that antidepressants are really, really good for people like me. But I'm like, I don't want to have to be dependent on medicine. So I don't know. It's something I think about, but not something I don't think I'm ready for yet.
I kind of see where you're coming from, because me personally, I was like that when I first got put on it. But I know that, like, even if I think in my own head that, oh, it's probably just a placebo effect, like my therapist tells me, like, you know that you're telling yourself, oh, it's placebo effect. Let it be a placebo effect. Yeah. Let it be whatever like it has to be. Yeah. Because for me, I really, really wish I would have taken medication a lot sooner in my life, just because I really feel a difference in myself with and without my medication. And it's just crazy because it's like, I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's like the mental battle that you have within your own head, and then like your thoughts are literally arguing with each other. Like that's, I know, because I know exactly what you're talking about, and that exact feeling, like your thoughts are arguing with each other, and it's just like you feel your own brain dragging yourself down while you're trying so hard to stay up, and then you're like, why the fuck am I feeling like this? And then you're like, oh, like a switch flipped, and then you have to like go back to like your daily routine, but then you're in the back of your head, you're still slowly dragging yourself down. And then that's how I feel like. But when I'm on my medication, I just feel nothing. Like I feel normal.
No, because if you guys are an OG YouTube watcher, like, of the beauty channels, Dulcie Candy, you remember her? So she's
in the military.
She's in the military, and recently she started opening up about her experiences with being on a medication, and she literally said the exact same thing. Like, I used to have so many voices in my head, like, like my mind,
really,
and not voices in her head, but it's like my mind,
your mind's thoughts.
It's like talking over each other, and like, oh, like overthinking, like, what am I gonna do this, like, what about this, and then what about that, and then what about this, what about that? And she's like, after she took her medicine, it's the same thing. It's just nothing.
It's like that TikTok sound where it's silence. Like, where it's like that TikTok sound where it's like, hey, da, 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 and then silence. That's literally what it's like. Because I know exactly what you're explaining, because I've like felt that.
It's something that, like I said, I've thought about, but I don't think I'm
there yet.
I'm not ready.
Okay. I think
I know that eventually, if I do have to do it, I know that it will help me, but I hate the idea of being dependent on a medication.
Which I get what you're saying from that perspective, but I just want to say, like, if you had diabetes, would you take insulin?
I was gonna say,
Well, actually, they do have. They have just recommended me to take medication to like balance my blood sugar, but I'm like, nope.
If you had heart failure, would you take your heart failure medication? It's just like that.
I know, but
that's
it's your own battle with yourself.
Medication.
But for me personally, I really, really, really wish I would have taken it a lot earlier, because I think the reason why I prompted myself to really get it was because I felt so guilty as a mom for feeling the way I did towards my kids, because I felt like my depression was eating at me and getting at me so bad to where, like, I felt like I hated spending time with my kids. I hated like being around them.
The resentment.
And then I felt guilty for that, but it's because I was just so drained and so tired from fighting my own battles that I didn't have time to be a good mom, and I felt so crappy for feeling like that.
And there's no shame in that.
There's no shame in feeling
no shame whatsoever.
And I think that's why it prompted me to take antidepressants, because I just knew that wasn't how I was supposed to be feeling, and I wanted to feel like a normal person. I mean, I just didn't want to feel the way I felt, and so when I finally took it, I just, like I said, I finally felt nothing. Like I just felt normal. And it's so weird to explain, because it's like for the people that don't have it, it's hard to explain. But for the people that have had depression or is fighting depression or any type of mental illness, like, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where it's like you're literally, your brain is dragging your own brain down while trying to keep your own brain above float.
Yes.
And it's just like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then whenever I'm on my medication, I just feel nothing, and it just feels so weird because I'm like, is this what people feel like?
So like going back to Sadie, because like Sadie, do you have that? Like,
no, that's why. Okay, so that's why I find it so interesting just listening to that, because now I have a clear visual of what it's like. Because I've never.
Okay, so I guess we have 3 stages here. We have someone who doesn't have it at all,
Someone's in denial,
someone who's been through it and now on medication, and someone who is in denial and doesn't want to be on medication. So like, for me, I hear voices all the time in my head. It's not like spooky voices.
It's not like schizophrenic voices.
No, it's not. It's like just
paranoia.
like my own dialogue. My own dialogue. Like right now, I'm thinking about the podcast as I'm talking, right, and trying to be present in the moment. But at the same time, I'm thinking about what I have to do tomorrow, or what are the kids doing in the house. Like, you know, like it's just. My brain is going like 10 million miles per second, and I'm also thinking about like, okay, what is Valerie gonna say next? What is Sadie gonna say next? It's just like a lot of consuming thoughts overlapping at the same time, and also thinking about work, like what I have to do at work tomorrow. It's just like that's how it is in my brain, like very
like,
crowded.
A lot of like definitely ADHD mixed with like you said, like the mental illness in general. Like it's all going on. I mean,
it's like a crowded room. Is what it is.
I've had something similar to, but more in a sense where if it's like if I'm having a conversation, for example, with someone, and like a very deep conversation, then yes, my brain will be going like, okay, I'm talking about this, and I'm thinking about this that connects with it, and that also connects with it. But everything kind of connects in in some way or another.
So you're basically just paying attention to the thing and present,
and very deeply.
Like that feeling that you had, I feel that all day, 24/7, all day, all night.
How do you guys sleep?
That's
why you guys don't sleep.
That's what I'm saying. Like I had that all day, all night.
I cannot sleep. I'm like,
all
oh my god. Okay, I have this to do, this to do, this.
I mean, because I am like that at times too. That's why I can't sleep for I can't sleep for shit. I need to like take sleeping meds sometimes. But then I feel like now that I'm a little bit older and like you said, self-aware, and I am a little bit more aware with that, I've learned how to relax my brain and just like you said, like the whole what is it, unplugging and like just putting like my brain sound on, so that way I can relax my brain. So I've been a little bit better with that. Good. But like you said, I mean, it may be different for me too, because my brain is not. I think you guys are like me, but you guys are maybe like times 10 in your in your brain, honestly. So I the way that's why whenever you were explaining like literally about the brain dragging down when you're trying to stay afloat, I'm like, holy crap! I'm literally visualizing
someone dragging themselves down, but literally trying to stay up at the same time.
So when you were explaining that, I was like, that's great imagery. Like, holy crap!
Yeah,
I can't imagine being like that. But that's why I'm saying I can't relate to y'all with the whole mental illness thing, but I can try to understand it. Yeah, I do understand it.
Yeah, so. I think Valerie was worse than me.
Oh, definitely.
I did have a lot worse. I mean,
like I feel like I'm in a medium, but Valerie definitely was a lot worse.
I think it's just because too, like my work, kind of added on top of it, because the peak of me being depressed was also the peak of me being burnt out at work. So it was literally one right on top of each other. And so that really did it for me, like really, really bad. And that really pushed me over the edge. And I wish I would have stopped myself before I got pushed over the edge. But I mean, if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't be where I am today. So at the same time, it's kind of like
So props to you, honestly, for taking charge,
for taking control, because not a lot of people can do that, aka me. Like it takes the reason why I'm saying that, and again with the dark humor, it's like if you can, it takes a stronger person to face their fears than it does someone who ignores their fears. Because it's like at least you can come to terms with, okay, I know I'm having this problem, and come to admit that, and I need help.
I mean, I wasn't always like that. I was like, I don't want to be on meds. Like, I don't like, why do I want to be on meds? Like, I didn't want to be, like you said, I didn't want to be dependent on it. I think
just the stigma around being medicated. But I mean, like, we're such advocates for mental health. Like, I shouldn't have that thought, but it's like at the same time,
but that's also being an advocate on mental health, like wanting to do it on your own and not wanting to take the medication. Some people, they can do that.
Yes. Healing, no, I've been really into that, like more of like a natural approach, like meditation, listening to podcasts, like self-help podcasts. Like I've been doing a lot of natural healing through that, and it's helped a lot to really just calm down the mind, like turn off those voices and really just like sit there and relax and take it in. Like meditation has helped me a lot.
If it has helped you a lot, then I
just keep doing that.
Keep doing that until but like Valerie said, I mean, I guess apparently according to that, the mental illness, it can come and go, and sometimes
Yeah,
it hits
it's
you
waves.
super hard, and sometimes
Yes.
it doesn't. So, whatever you're doing right now, if it's working, that's great. But then I think, I'm not here to speak for anybody, but like Val said, I'm so glad that you're so transparent about how you saying that you wish you would have taken it
Sooner.
earlier.
I really
Yeah.
wish I would have taken it
And
sooner.
I really respect that, because like, I mean, you're just being real. But then, and like you said, I mean, that's from your perspective.
From my perspective,
So
yeah.
for yourself, yeah.
Just
But-
because, like I said, I know myself now with and without the medication, and like I hate myself for not taking it sooner, because it's so crazy that like that I couldn't even feel the way I
The
feel.
difference,
Like I
yeah.
never knew that I could even exist feeling this way.
Damn, must be nice.
That's crazy.
It's
dude.
no, that's what I'm saying.
Because I'm like trying to imagine, like, damn, imagine the feeling. So that I'm just trying to compare and contrast, right?
Right.
The feeling that I get when I'm doing meditation and it's super quiet and I'm calm. Like, is that how it is?
That's how you
all the
feel all the time. Because it's really like that TikTok sound where you hear a bunch of things and you're like, hey, 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 and then it's like,
It's like,
you know what sound I'm talking about?
Yeah,
and then it's just quiet. Like that's literally how it's like when I'm not on my, like those 2 days, these past 2-3 days when I stopped taking my medication. That's exactly what I felt, and that's exactly where I was going. I felt myself spiraling, and I felt myself like falling back into like all my voices going against each other. My heart voices going against my brain voices, like my leg voices going against everything else, and I felt myself spiraling. But then when I take my medication again, my whole body is just one. Like I just feel good, and I'm not battling with myself anymore. And so that's why me personally, I'm such an advocate now for medication, because I used to be on the other side of that, of the no, like I don't want to be dependent,
Like the stigma
against
it.
And I also just want to throw it out there for Valerie. She knows her stuff. She's literally a nurse.
Literally.
So,
literally.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because I am a nurse, so I should have known better, because that's literally what they teach us is like, you know, and when someone starts taking their medication, they start feeling good, so they think, oh, I don't need it anymore. But no,
that's not
Yes.
that's not the case. You,
Like,
you feel that way because
Stay
you're
on it,
finally
baby.
taking it.
Yes.
And then you stop taking it, and then you go back down really fast, which is so like ironic, because they literally teach you that in school, and I know that, but I did that.
And you went through it.
I did that exact same thing. I started taking it and I felt good, and I was like, well, I don't need it anymore. I feel great. And I stopped taking it, and then I crashed so hard, like so hard. And it's like you started to feel good because you were taking medication to help you feel good. And I'm not saying that like antidepressants are a happy drug, because
or like
it's not.
not everybody
It's-
not everybody needs it either. I
Yeah.
feel like there's a certain not scale, but like, you know,
to an extent.
It's just you have to know yourself and talk to your provider
Yes,
about it. We're not
provider.
medical professionals. Definitely talk
I
to
mean,
your provider.
you're a medical professional, but
We're just getting
but
it from our
as like therapy wise.
talk to your therapist.
Yeah.
Talk to your primary care. Like, don't take our advice and just be
Yes.
like, go dose up on some Zoloft or freaking Lexapro.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but yeah.
But just, I forgot what I was gonna say now.
Well, speaking from your own experiences, that's
Oh,
how
yeah.
you felt, you know.
Yeah,
that's
speaking from
what
my own
worked for you.
experiences, like that I should have known better, because literally that's what they teach me in school, but I
Yeah.
did that exact same thing. And so that's why I feel like I'm just an advocate for medication, because it has helped me a lot personally. So I'm an advocate for medication, and I feel like especially for mothers who has gone through postpartum depression, I feel like that helps a lot too, because I know that when you're going through postpartum depression, you literally feel like the world's gonna end, and you fucking hate yourself, and you're a terrible mother, and why did you become a mom, and
Like
life is
the
so
resentment.
painful, and the resentment, but then you hate yourself for feeling that resentment. And it's like it's
a never ending.
a never ending thing, but
Yeah.
it's like you and the thing is, you feel alone, but I guarantee you, the mom right next door, or the mom you see at the Starbucks in line has felt or is feeling
Exactly.
the exact same way.
So I have a question for you, Val. Like, since you said like ever since you've been on medication, right? Like your mindset's changed or whatever. So do you think that when you're on your medication, you still have bad days, or do you think it's just a matter of it's not as bad when you're versus when you're off your medication?
When I'm on my medication, I don't really think I have bad days. I think I have bad moments, or bad situation.
But like it doesn't linger.
It
Like,
doesn't
you
linger.
don't-
Like, it's just like it comes and then it goes. It's
Like
just
a
like
feeling. Yeah,
like a
like-
feeling. It's not a bad day. It doesn't last a day. It doesn't last an hour even. It's just like in that moment I'm like, oh fuck, and, da, da, da. And then I'm like, okay, I feel better. Like, Like I feel good. Like I get over it and I feel good. But when I'm not on my medication, that whatever that just happened, it will consume me. Right. It will consume me, and then everything will go downhill. That thing will consume me. That thing will consume me. And then I'm thinking about this, and then I'm thinking about that thing from 3 years ago, and then I'm thinking about the thing from 2 days from now that I have to worry about, but I shouldn't be worrying about, but I need to worry about.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I'm thinking about a bunch of other things, and then I'm thinking about why am I even fucking here? And I'm thinking about I should have freaking unalived myself three years ago, and then I think about all these other things.
It just goes down.
It's a cycle, so that's why it's like you need to go see a therapist. Go to talk to your provider if you're feeling.
First things first, therapist probably. And
therapist. I definitely, like I said before, everyone should see a therapist whether they think they need it or not.
And all in all, just to say, like, a bad day does not mean a bad life, and it's okay to have bad moments. It's okay to have, like, you know, a spiraling moment, just as long as you know how to keep yourself grounded to come back. And if you need that extra support, or you need, you know, I would say, like I said earlier, just do the things that you love and stick with the people that you love and be open about it, so they can help you through those bad moments and help you move through those moments. Because, you know, you're not a professional, I'm not a professional, we're all going to need someone's help at some point. You know, so it's not a bad thing to get help from your loved ones and even just talk about it.
I think, and kind of just going back to what Sutiana said, doing the things that you love is just remember what is something that you know for sure is going to make you happy. For me, watching The Office. I know for sure. I know 100% sure. Any episode of The Office I watch, it's going to make me happy. Watching The Office, that's going to make me happy. Listening to any type of music, that's going to make me happy. But for sure, if I watch one episode of The Office, that's it. My mind is switched, and then I feel better.
She's like, light switch.
Yep. Or like just taking a shower. That makes me feel so much better. Yeah. You know, or just turning the light on in my room. Like, literally
something as simple as that.
Like just the small things that you know for sure is gonna make your day better.
I like literally going outside just to soak up the sun. Like just today.
Yep.
How it was so nice. I literally just went outside on my lunch, and I literally just like this, like just laid out, like stood up and just like.
I did that too. Like Atticus was like, "Mommy, what are you doing outside?" I said, "Shh." I said, "Be quiet." Shh.
It's because it's the sun and just like nature in general, and like feeling alive with the actual like earth. You know, like I feel like as we're getting older, we are like starting to appreciate like just the nature. So beautiful. Like one time when it was so nice outside, I literally did my work outside. I put like out a little Asian mat.
I remember. I
put out the Asian mat on my porch. I literally sat there with my Chromebook and I was grading outside, and my dad was like walking back and forth like, what's she doing out here? But it was just so beautiful because like you said, just soaking up like the beautiness of the actual like nature and the weather,
just being appreciative
and just being everything present
of
with
life.
Like,
yeah
oh, look at us getting deep.
I know
it really is being just present and appreciative of life, because think about it, if you were to not be here, you would not be enjoying that moment. And
I feel like life is just like today. Using today as an analogy, start off rainy, wet, nasty, cold. And I was not looking forward to recording the podcast because I was like,
same here.
We're gonna be cold. Great. It's gonna be cold. It's gonna be muddy. Like, we're doing it at my house. It's gonna be muddy. It's gonna be rainy. It's gonna be disgusting. And then in the afternoon it was like so sunny, and literally
it dried up so fast.
It dried up, and it was like literally like upper 60s, and I was like, wow, it's literally like summertime. Like, this is making me feel better. And I'm just like, it's so crazy how little things like that, how just soaking up in the sun or changing your mindset, or just like today, how just switch from bad to being good, how that can change your mood, like
how the weather it's just like the weather can change your mood so fast. Like anything that fast can change how you feel. So if you know that, find something that will help, that make yourself change the way you feel,
or like make your mind do a detour and go think about something else that will that you can at least try to help yourself be happier and get out of that bad day or bad slump or bad week,
And like you said earlier, like don't run too much away from it too. Like, you can feel it for a little bit and let it go, but then don't stay there too long.
Like, don't dwell.
Don't dwell on that. And then just like feel it, let it go. Like you said, cry if you have to.
Crying is my favorite, angry. You guys. Like, sit in the car, put on some fucking sad music, and just cry.
What's funny is that I used to do that a lot, but now that I'm older, I avoid crying. I don't know why.
Dude, just do it when you're by yourself. Trust me, you will. Like, things that you haven't, that you've been like not even thinking about. You're just like, okay, like, it's a bad day, not a bad life, and you just move on. Trust me, once you get in the car and you start crying, you're like, damn, all those feelings I have held back,
and then it just feels so good to let it out.
I used to do a whole lot of that whenever I used to be like sad here and there. I used to do that, like you said, literally play sad music in the car and I just like think about it, all the sad stuff, and let it go. It was really good. But now I avoid it because I mean, naturally, like I said, I'm a emotional person anyway, and I can't help it. Like literally at a speech today at work, my teacher was giving out speech and she was crying. I was like, oh gosh, don't cry. And I'm crying, and I hate crying. I'm like, why I cannot control.
Tell me why I can see that, and then
I cannot control my emotions for crap. But I hate that. So now I feel like because of that, I avoid crying and I avoid to be sad.
It's natural.
But it is natural, and I think I need to work on that. I need to be a little bit more like emotional and intentional with my emotional feelings. For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, try it out by yourself. Like in the car.
I used to do it all the time, so I know how it is. So I just I need to get back to that if I'm feeling like it.
Yeah, like if you feel the mood to just let out a good cry.
Do you feel like you don't want to cry because you don't want people to see that as like a sign of weakness, or
let's unpack that?
Like why do you feel like the need to not be able to
doing that anymore?
That's a good question. I haven't really asked myself that. I don't know.
Is it because in the past you've been vulnerable and cried to people before, and it's like your feelings have never been validated when you were at a weak emotional state?
Dang, look at that, me, my therapist right now. Honestly, I can't even think back that far, to be honest. Like, I think growing up, I've always just been so emotional. I think I got that from my mom. I don't know if it like technically ties to anything that has happened. Maybe it has,
like a specific event.
Who knows? But yeah, it comes so naturally. Like if I could be watching a movie of it, like something sweet, even something so sweet and tender that I could be like, oh, like I'm crying. Like,
well, we're talking about when you
like at your meeting, like you were crying, but then like you were like, oh, you don't want people to see that you're crying. Like why?
I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe.
Like, do you feel embarrassed?
Probably so. I would say so because I mean, there's no other way that I can describe of why I want to hide it.
Yeah.
I think that is the reason. Yeah.
That you feel embarrassed?
Yeah, embarrassed. Yep.
So you feel embarrassed for other people to see you cry?
To be vulnerable.
Yes. That's what it is. I'm not vulnerable.
Because it's vulnerability.
Vulnerable.
Because when you're crying is when you're the most vulnerable.
That is what it is.
Because it's like it's raw.
Yes. But then it's a little bit like too easy and too, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it comes too easy for me. So I try to not.
Like you try to put a lid on it.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe it's because when you cry, that's when vulnerability. When you cry, you're at your most vulnerable state, and I think you don't like being vulnerable. I don't. So you don't like to cry because for you, crying is when you're most vulnerable, and you don't like being vulnerable.
And then let's dig into that a little deeper. In the past when you've cried and been vulnerable, maybe
that's what I'm saying. In the past when you've cried and you've been super vulnerable, like
maybe your feelings weren't.
Your feelings weren't validated at that time.
So that's why I try to like push away from
That's why you stopped doing that, because there was times in the past when you were crying and you were being vulnerable,
and maybe the other person was like, I don't give a shit, like, or
wasn't listening to you, or the other person wasn't validating your feelings when you're opening up and being vulnerable. So now you don't want to be vulnerable.
Ooh,
you don't want to be vulnerable with anybody anymore.
I never thought about that.
Damn, we just had a mini therapy session, y'all.
Therapy right here. Let's unpack that. No, so that's good. Some good unpacking. Because I mean, I never thought of it that way. I never asked myself, why am I afraid to show myself my tears? Because like I said, and I think because it could be so easy and it's so common for me to just cry, for it to come naturally, that I try to bottle it up, like you said. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think that could be it. That definitely. I think
that's like the only linkage I can.
Yeah, that's the only linkage I think I'm thinking about.
Yeah. What is it?
As always, we upload a new episode every Monday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can find us here on YouTube if you're watching on YouTube right now, or we are also on Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts now, woo, and many other platforms that we're trying to get on. But as of right now, those are the only ones we're on. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, and you can DM us or message us with any questions, comments, concerns.
Leave us a review on Spotify.
We'd love to hear from you guys. Like, if you ever want to hear us talk about a certain thing,
yes,
or touch on a certain topic, you are more than welcome to message us, DM us, comment anonymously. Like,
we're definitely open for that.
We are open for that. When we talk about these, you know that we're just creating a safe space where you can like I said, just be anonymous. You don't have to put your name on there. We won't even say your name. Okay. But if it's a subject that you want us to touch on or talk about, we are more than open for that. So just message us, DM us, or comment. Thank you guys so much for watching. And don't forget to leave a review, whether it be on YouTube or leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That really helps push out our podcast to other viewers and listeners who really enjoy it. So if you enjoy it, let us know. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.